In 1996, I asked the Attorney General to draft legislation to crack down on this appalling practice.
The state is going to begin posting the photos, names, and money owed by these losers to social media.
There's an investigation going on. Okay, we'll be patient. I'm not going nowhere. I demand justice for Samaje. I demand reform.
In the year 2015, $33.7 billion was owed in child support in the United States, making only 60% of the money collected. Per year, the average amount of money owed per case was $5,760. There are around 6.5 million custodial parents in the U.S. with a child support order in place, which is needed to properly raise children when the non-custodial parent is lesser involved or not involved at all in the life and well-being of the children. Although federal and state agencies put in efforts to find non-paying parents, this still continues to be a national issue across the country.
There needs to be a set repercussion for that. Go to jail, garnish wages, lose your license. There doesn't seem to be anything set and concrete that happens at a certain point. And we went back and back and back until he finally disappeared. And then they were like, oh, well, we don't know where he is, so there's nothing we can do. And at that point, it was too late. But for 2 years, he had been right in front of them, and they did nothing.
You've had a child, you have a responsibility there to pay for the child's support.
In the past few decades, family court and child support has been more federalized instead of leaving it all up to each individual state. In the 1930s, Congress has enacted federal statutes, but these have fixed little of custodial parents' problems. Many parents who owe an astronomical amount of money are considered deadbeat parents. Many are difficult to locate and don't have jobs or work under the table, so they aren't able to be punished for refusing to pay. In the States, a body attachment, a kind of warrant, can be issued in order to put the deadbeat parent in jail once they enter the state it's issued in.
Rich has a body attachment on him, which basically means it's Rhode Island's version of a child support warrant, which is pretty useless unless he's in the state and then gets pulled over and they find him incidentally and then they bring him in, but because there's a body attachment against him, he stays away.
Congress attempted to solve this issue in 1992 with the Child Support Recovery Act, but the serious crimes were not being taken care of in the right way, and it was not enforced enough and did not have enough funding to prosecute those who were in debt and give money to the children who desperately needed it.
Deadbeat parents found it easy to avoid paying up by skipping from job to job or state to state. But with this database, there is nowhere left to run. With these and other successful child support initiatives, we believe that we've made a real difference for people like Sonia and her two fine sons. But we can and must do more.
If you're old enough to father a child, then you're old enough to accept financial responsibility for that child.
Congress can use tax money or surplus amounts to reimburse families who are owed a certain amount of money by the non-custodial parent while a state investigation is going on to locate the parent if they're unable to be found. This would ensure less kids are malnourished, less kids end up in the foster care system, and more single-parent families live well.
One of the things, though, that's happened there is the child support program actually has requested that the judiciary change the rule.
At this point, I don't think I'll ever see that money, and that's fine. I can't even let myself think about how different our lives could have been with child support.
For most cases, letters are sent out every month to the custodial parent in order to locate the deadbeat parent who has failed to pay. But when their whereabouts are unknown, there's little the state can do. That's why it needs to be brought to a higher level nationally, and Congress needs to pass acts to enforce stronger investigations for these parents who don't pay, as well as giving the children the aid they need without the trouble of food stamps or government welfare on the parents' part.
Too long, you've been able to remain anonymous, able to skirt your financial and legal responsibilities with no shame. Not anymore.
Child support debt and lack of enforcement is a big problem in the United States. The money needed is a big part in raising children as a single parent. A change from Congress is what we want to see during President Biden's 4-year term.